I just finished watching the Football Manager stream, the first live look at FM20, and I feel like my opinion of the game has completely changed. So I was sat down and watching the vast majority of the Football Manager stream. I went to get lunch because people need to eat, but I caught up with Keg about anything that I could have missed. He did a fabulous stream where he was sitting there basically watching the Football Manager stream with a lot of you. So hopefully you were able to catch that. Also, because this is just an immediate reaction video, we're ditching most of the pomp and circumstance that I normally have and all of the editing and production that goes into this. Just my raw reaction from watching that Football Manager 20 stream and what we're getting ourselves into for the next year. That being said, I'm happy. There are a couple things that I've wanted Football Manager to do for a while. I think this game's going to do it. I do not think that we are going to get the kind of large wholesale changes that we have gotten the last 2 years. I don't think it's going to feel as dramatic. Obviously, pending the match engine, which we didn't get a look at all today. They used an alpha from a match engine, I think it was almost 4 years ago, because they're not done tinkering with the match engine that we're going to have available when the game comes out, or when the beta comes out in the 4th or the 5th. Check out that video on how to get access to the beta so that you can play the game 2 weeks early. The first thing that I was happy about, going back in the memory banks here, is that I've often thought Football Manager has a lot of potential stepping away from the spreadsheets all the time. It is a lot like a board game most of the time, where your imagination is the main propeller of the experience. And in the Welcome to a Club, which what they did on the stream was they basically started a save, played a few matches, and when you join a club, you go into a boardroom now. Kind of like where you go to the press conference room for press conferences, which some of you might not have noticed. I know probably most people skip press conferences at this point, but you go into a press conference room. When you're joining the club, you go into a boardroom. I think that's cool. It's small, but that's the sort of step that I think SI needs to take with Football Manager, where it is great to step outside of the spreadsheet every once in a while. We all love the spreadsheets. That's why we're here. But to animate what's happening and to add to the experience just outside of the actual match engine is fantastic, and I really like that they're taking small steps in that direction. As for the changes, we can't speak about the match engine. We can only be excited that the match engine is still under development, and they always say that it's being redone in one way or another, but this stream was pretty late at night, and Miles was still there, and he was grinding. Mr. Self-Described Workaholic, he was grinding. He's grinding on something. I hope for his sake and for our sake that it comes off for him, and that we're going to get a real dramatic improvement in the match engine. But you never know, so we can't speak on that. What I can speak on is that a lot of the interface was only touched up a little bit. So there's some complaint when the features started to be released that this is a classic catch-up year for SI, where they make a ton of changes for a couple of years, and then this is a year where they essentially reskin the old game and add peripheral features like the development center. Got a video about that too, if you don't know what I'm talking about. I think that this is more than a reskinning, though. What I think that this is an effort to add more information to the game. We see it in staff. The staff responsibilities page is a doozy now. I mean, that hadn't been fiddled with in a little while. Staff responsibilities page it's a howitzer now. It's just full of information. I mean, full of information. I think you can essentially tell your staff to do anything in the game for you, very specifically. They completely redone the whole, and they've added the staff members, which I talked about in the new features video. Yeah. But the staff responsibilities page reflects this emphasis on the staff. and the more emphasis there is on the staff and in the development center, the more information there is for you to work with. And that staff is giving you tips. One of the most obvious changes when you're watching them play the game on this stream is that before every match, there is this tip that comes up, and this is the recommended squad. So long gone are the days when you're transitioning from your cup squad to your league squad that you accidentally leave somebody out there, which I am so guilty of all the time. Because this little screen pops up and says, you should replace these people in the lineup. Gives you one extra look. It's saying, hey, I don't know why this guy's out here. You should probably put somebody else out there. And that, it's going to really help me. It's just, I don't know how many points that's cost me over the years. Couldn't be more than 20. I'd like to have those 20 points back. Accidentally playing somebody that I was supposed to swap out from a cup match. But that's going to be removed. They said they were going to, offhand, really offhand, they said they were going to do something in the MLS. They had issues with the rules in the MLS. Maybe I'll take a crack at that on a save for FM20. Being American and all, and having avoided the MLS with a passion because the rules make my head hurt, along with everybody else. They said that really offhand, too. We're a group of people that really don't communicate to the Americans that much. They said that they were going to try and fix up the MLS a little bit, the rules, because apparently they weren't perfectly accurate, but I honestly don't even know. I work for the teams. I don't know the freaking rules. That was bizarre. It was offhand. But outside of the staff overhaul, the other big noticeable one, because they were getting into the job, and they had just gotten the job at the start of the stream, and they're going through the whole process, which they've announced on Twitter. The features, the club vision, the 5-year plan. Those things are fascinating. They looked good in application. They look already done. That portion of the game is basically ready for release at this point, based off of what we saw. It looks great. I'm worried that it opens up the possibility when you fiddle with things like job security too much that there could be a beta glitch where people are getting fired for stupid reasons. But I have no reason to doubt the strength of those features at this point, and they look good. And then playing time pathway. Also, it looks smooth, but it's led to this restructuring of how contract negotiations work. So we've all gotten really comfortable with breezing through contract negotiations and the way that the contracts look. Those have changed up a little bit. There's more player roles. A lot more player roles, which we cover in that feature video. And like cup goalkeeper, awesome. But they've changed the layout dramatically. Where other things, they just touched up the lines, and so the whole match interface, the match day interface, everything's the same. You're hoping the match engine's going to be a little cooler. And I hope the touchline instructions are fixed, because most of them just didn't work in FM19. That's a small thing, but I like to think that they have some effect on the game, because once the match starts, you can only do so much, right? But the contract negotiations have been readjusted. I get the feeling there are going to be 4 more fun little features in the contract negotiation screen that weren't there before. That's the type of thing they're adding in this game. More information, more options, more individualism, more different ways to play the game. You have so many different staff responsibilities that the big thing they're emphasizing is, look, this is a unique experience for everybody. Everybody's going to have a unique experience. Me playing on stream, which I want to give you the link right now. Me playing on stream is going to be, it's going to look different and feel different than every one of you playing Football Manager 20. We'll be talking about the same things, but I'm going to have different staff responsibilities loaded up. And it's going to feel different, and you're going to have a million different strategies for these contract negotiations with the playing time pathways. Everybody's going to cook up their own way to convince young players to come play for them. And everybody's going to end up screwing themselves in their own ways. Oh, you told me I was going to be a first-team player in 3 years. Well, I didn't know this 16-year-old regen, or new gen, was gonna pop up, take that spot. All of a sudden, you're not playing. Congratulations, you're fired. That sort of stuff. Everybody's going to have their own unique experiences, and they're just getting more unique, right? I'm excited about that contract stuff. They added a couple more training things. I saw playing out of the back. That's you can't do that in training now. There's a playing out of the back training, so Pep Guardiola appearing everywhere again. Just those little add-ons that make you realize you're playing a new game, and it's nice. And I think the match engine could be the piece de la résistance. I also do not think that you're ever going to be able to satisfy everybody with the match engine. But take solace in the fact that they're trying, and that this looks like, after some dramatic improvement over the last 2 years, it looks like a game worth buying. It looks like the experience is going to be improved with the amount of information you're going to be able to glean from the development center. The amount of information you're going to be able to glean from the new staff, that it's going to feel like enough of a new experience. And the only thing I'm frustrated by, where I was frustrated with a lot more, I was worried that this was going to be a reskin. I was very worried. I was optimistic. Talked about it on the podcast with Matza, teacher Liam, where we're saying, we hope that there's match engine. Well, now we've heard that there's match engine work being done. Serious match engine work. So the only issue I have now, after seeing the different contract layouts and that sort of thing, is that the match day layout, it looks basically the same. It's not going to feel, even with a better match engine, even with better lighting, even with more properly animated surfaces that are responding to the elements so you get a muddy field or whatever. It's not going to feel like a new game in the match. I don't think. Unless this match engine really kills it. Because your team talk feels the same. Your tactical screen, and I was staring at it. I had my phone right here to try and see any new instructions or anything. You have your inverted winger. I mean, it's different than an inside forward. Marginally. I'm excited to test it out, but by how much? Right? It's just, maybe I'm used to in the American games, right? And I always cite my Americanness, a bit of an outsider perspective for Football Manager anyways. In games like Madden, they're awful. They remake the same game, but it's got a new skin on it. It has a new look to it, and I think that the match day experience could at least have a new look to it. And they could do what they did with training. Add a few little things. And maybe they will. Maybe they're waiting for the match engine to finish, and then they'll add a few little new things to make each aspect of the game fresh. But from what I saw in the match day experience, you could have mistaken it for an FM19 stream. Just 2 or 3 dudes sitting there playing FM19 in the match day experience. Talking about the options you have on top, your tactic selection, your team talks before. So I hope there's a little bit more of an Easter egg there. Oh, there was network. I knew I forgot something in my long monologue. And everybody's going to have noticed one tiny thing that I didn't, and that's fantastic. Let's talk about it in the comments. I'll leave the comments open. I'll post first and say, what did I miss? What were you excited about that I didn't talk about? But the network saves. They said they're gonna overhaul it. That's gonna come out on Twitter soon if you vote for it on those tweet polls that Miles is doing, right? So vote for it. I don't know. We can figure out what those network saves are. Eventually, we'll know. Not what the network saves are, but what the network features are. I think they basically just fixed the network games. Maybe they added a couple of features to the network games. That's what they made it sound like. Which is exciting, and, maybe Matza, Keg, and I, and the boys gonna sit down and take a crack at one of those saves. Hopefully, if it works, I can see us doing that. But I look forward to talking in the comments. What else did you notice that I didn't notice? It was a long stream, and there could have been a lot of tiny little features that you might have picked out that we didn't touch on. But I think those are the big things. That's how I feel about the game. I feel cautiously optimistic. I'm excited for the new match engine. I've gone from thinking it might not be worth it to definitely thinking that it's worth it now. And if you disagree, I'd be happy to hear and hear why. This is obviously, it's a fluid opinion on my side. And if you've enjoyed the video and just listening to me share my thoughts about the stream, please do like and subscribe. That little like button's so easy to click. The subscribe button, you can also hit the bell as well. You get notifications when every video we post goes live. Always endeavor to not waste your time with a single video, give you the sort of stuff that you want to watch, the important information, and the stuff that's going to help improve your game. So thank you so much. I look forward to talking to you in the comments. Cautiously optimistic. That's what I want you to take away from this. I will see you guys soon. All my information is it's all down there, including the Twitch link that I showed you earlier. So I would love to talk about it on stream as well. I stream every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday as of right now. And the schedule is always posted on the Twitch channel. So you can check that out. I'm usually streaming Football Manager. You can jump in, even when I'm not, and we can talk about just about anything you see here. Until next time, it's your boy Zealand. Down. Sorry, we're to a save point. Transition!